In this video, we are going to be solving some different problems using complement addition. We're going to be using one byte to store each integer and 2's complement form for negatives. So our first question is 82 minus 66. Our first step is to reimagine this problem as an addition problem. So we can think of this problem as 82 plus a negative 66 because we're doing complement addition. Because we want to do addition, we're going to reimagine this by adding a negative instead of subtracting. Next, I need to write 82 using binary and then negative 66 using 2's complement form. So if I think of my face value, place value chart with my powers of 2, I have 2 to the power of 0 or 1, 2 to the power of 1, or 2 and 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. I'm using one byte. And I want to write the number 82 in binary. So I'm looking across the columns and I want to go to the biggest one I can without going over 82. And that is going to be the 64's place. So if I have a 1 in the 64's place, I've used up 64 of my numbers. Okay. Which is going to give me 18 left over. So the highest column I can use is the 16 column, which gives me 2 left over. So I can place a 1 in the 2's column. And I've used up all of my numbers, so I'm going to fill up the rest of the spots with zeros. And we can double check this by adding up the columns. So if I do 2 plus 16 plus 64, I'll get back to my 82. So that is 82 in binary. Now I'm going to repeat that same process with the number 66, and then I'm going to put it into 2's complement form. So here's my columns. And the highest I can go to get to 66 is the 64 column, which only gives me 2 left over. So I can put a 1 in the 2's column, and I'm going to fill up the rest with zeros. So now if I want to put that into 2's complement form, I'm going to first invert all of the numbers. Let's give ourselves some more room here. I'm going to invert them, meaning I'm putting all my zeros as 1s and all my 1s as zeros. And then I need to add 1. So to add 1, the next binary number down is going to be putting a 1 in this column, which makes this a 0. And then I'm just going to follow through the rest of the numbers. And so that is negative 66 in 2's complement form. So now that I've written them both into 2's complement form, I can do my addition. So I have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. You'll notice I'm giving myself lots of room to do my addition. And then I have my negative 66. And I'm going to do an addition. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. I'm going to put a 0, carry the 1. And I get 1, 0, put a 0, carry the 1. 1, 0, put a 0, carry the 1. And I get 1, 1, put a 1, carry the 1. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. And we end up with this 9th bit, which we're going to ignore. And so our final answer is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. And if we put that back into a decimal, we get 16, which is in fact 82 minus 66, would get us to 16. Okay, so again, to solve using complement addition, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have an addition problem. I'm going to reimagine it as an addition problem if it's not already. Then I'm going to write any positive numbers using binary, any negative numbers using 2's complement form, and then I do my regular binary addition. And finally, I'm going to do a check by converting it back into a decimal to check that that is correct. Let's look at another example. So I have negative 24 minus 95. So again, our first step is to reimagine it as an addition problem. So this is going to be negative 24 plus negative 95. So I've reimagined it as an addition problem. I'm now going to have to write each of these, since they're both negative numbers, I'm going to write them each in 2's complement form. So I'm going to draw my chart. Give myself lots of room here. And I'm going to write 24 in binary. So the highest I can go is to 16, which leaves me 8 left over. So I can put a 1 in the 8's place. And I'm going to fill up all the other spots with zeros. Now to write this as a negative 24, I'm going to invert and add 1. So the next number down is going to have a 1 in this place, which makes these zeros. And then I can copy out the numbers in front, and that gets us to negative 24. We can check that by thinking of this column as a negative 128's place. And if you do negative 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 8, you should get to negative 24. Okay, so let's repeat that for negative 95. Okay, so 64 is the closest I can get to 95, which is going to leave me 31 left over. So I can't go to the 32's place, but I can go to the 16's place, which leaves me 15 left over. So then I can use the 8, and that leaves me 7 left over. So I can do the 4, leaves me 3 left over. So the 2 and the 1. And again, if we do 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 64, we should get to 95. So let's fill in zeros in the other spots. And then to get to negative 95, I'm going to invert and add 1. Now, because we are using 1 byte here, you do have to use up all of the columns. I know when we're writing out, let's say, the number 24, we have 3 zeros in the front, and we think those aren't necessary. But you'll notice that when I go to do the negative form of the number, they do turn into 1. So it is important that you fill up all of the 8 spaces. In our case, with using 1 byte, you want to fill up all 8. There's no unnecessary zeros at this step. Okay, so now that I have my negative 24 and my negative 95, I can do my addition. So I have 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0 for negative 24. And then 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 for negative 95. And I'm going to do an addition. So I get 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then 1, 0. So I'm going to put a 0, carry the 1, 1, 0, put a 0, carry the 1, 1, 1. And remember, we ignore this 9th bit. So my final answer is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. which if we want to do a check, I'm going to convert that back into a decimal. So I get negative 1/28 place, and then the 8's place, and the 1's place. And if I put those together, I get negative 119. And let's check, is negative 24 minus 95 does in fact equal negative 119, so we know we did it correct. Let's not forget our little subscript 2 at the end of our answer. Okay, so that is how you solve using complement addition and 2's complement form for negatives.